Old-fashioned toys are creepy at the best of times, but what about an entire island filled with them? Just outside of Mexico City is a place that locals call La Isla de las Muñecas, but many refer to it as the Doll Island. Today we will look at the cursed history and what makes the island so popular today. Even before all the dolls started to appear on the 1-acre island, locals swore that they would see ghosts and hear shadows talking there. They believed, and many still do, that the island is cursed, and it might well be when you consider the backstory of the area. A guy called Geraldo Ibarra, who works for a travel company in Mexico, told the Post, during the time of Cortez, many people fled and hid on the canals. A lot of these people were women and children, with many of the women killing themselves rather than be caught and raped by the Spanish. So, as you can see, the island had been a place to disappear for quite some time, and maybe the ghosts the locals saw were the many who had hidden away years before. Now, midway through the 20th century, Don Julian Santana Barrera decided to pack up his things and move to the little island on Texuela Lake to start a new life. It's not fully understood why he decided to do this, but there are many people who believe he was struggling with his mental health at the time. It seems that he settled in well enough while building himself a one-room cabin and planting crops. Things seemed calm, for a while at least. But one day, as he was strolling along the river, it is said he found the body of a young girl who had drowned. Barrera had no idea who the young child was, and so buried her as best he could. A few days later, a doll washed ashore in the same area. So, believing the toy must have belonged to the poor child, decided to pay respect by hanging it from one of the trees. His great-nephew, Rogelio Sanchez Santana, who is now the current guardian of the dolls, said the girl was swimming with her sister or friends, and the current took her, so she drowned. He believes that this is when the problems began for his poor uncle. He stated the spirit of the girl was living in sorrow. In the mornings, Julian started seeing ghosts and one day woke up and found all his crops had died. He tried many things to improve his crops, but he couldn't because the spirit damaged them. He became more and more scared. It seems he couldn't even escape his fears even when he slept, as he would dream about the girl and how her spirit was at unrest. Now, many say that he thought of himself as the caretaker of the island and wanted desperately to appease her spirit. So, he kept on adding dolls to the many trees on the land. Didn't seem to matter what state of disrepair they were in either, as he would rummage in the trash and the canals to find whatever he could. Some of them were whole, while others were headless or with no torso. During his time as caretaker of the island, it is said that over 1,000 dolls were collected and hung from the various trees, with many of his favourites placed inside a hut that was built especially for them. Some say he believed there was more than one ghost child haunting the island and that the ghosts of these children resided in the many dolls that he hung up. He carried on this way for 50 years, with many, including his own family, stating that they don't really believe he ever found a body and that he might have been lonely instead, or didn't have a healthy grasp on reality. So this begs the question, did he make it all up? Had he imagined the ghostly visitors due to an unstable mind? Or maybe the island was already haunted and he was tormented by those poor souls? What do you guys believe? The strangeness of Barrera's own death has also captured the imagination of locals and tourists alike. You see, it appears that he was found dead in the canal, in the same spot he had claimed to have found the young child. It's said that the poor man died of a heart attack, while his great-nephew believes that the spirit of the girl came to him and dragged him into the water. Today, the island is visited by many, and some even bring dolls of their own to honour the man who gave his life to the island and the poor child who drowned. There are those who have even reported seeing the eyes of the dolls moving and hearing them talk. So tell me, dissectors, would you be brave enough to visit this ghostly island?